Hello everyone, and thank you for watching my channel. My name is Victor. I'm talking to you from Barcelona, Spain. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel and please hit the like button. That helps me to carry on and create content for you all. Today I'm here to talk to you about my wonderful experience with Qantas Airways Ltd as part of the cabin crew international team based at the London Heathrow. I do not currently work for Qantas anymore, just to make it clear from the beginning. Excellent. So, back in 2013, I was flying for CityJet, but I was doing only short-haul flights. My dream was to perform only long-haul flights, and at that time, Qantas was probably one of the most attractive airlines to work for in the United Kingdom. If you wanted to fly long haul, you wanted good conditions and a good salary. Excellent. So how did the recruitment process work? Right, so we had to make an application online, right, as you would with most of the airlines nowadays. You had to upload your CV, a cover letter, answer a few questions based on your prior experience, etc. and then hit the submit button. I remember back then it took a few weeks for me to hear back from Qantas, and then I got an email saying I was pre-successful or pre-selected to attend an assessment day with Qantas. The assessment day took place in a nearby hotel close to Heathrow Airport, and we had a lovely team from Qantas welcoming us all, and they were very attentive with us. And basically the assessment day consisted on a series of group exercises, a role play, and we also had Qantas management giving a presentation of the company, how the whole Qantas UK team work out of Heathrow, and also, you know, that there was a chance for us to ask questions as well, etc. Great. Back then, in those times, I'm pretty much sure that the recruitment process has differs a little bit from what it used to be, but back then in 2013 we had to do the group exercises and then the role play, and then you would get a text message, an SMS message into your phone, and they would tell you whether you would continue or not in the recruitment process. In my case, I was successful, so what happened next? Then we were interviewed, we were asked to do a personal interview, a panel interview sometimes called in the airline industry, with two recruiters and the candidate. Right, after we did that, we had to wait again roughly 2 weeks perhaps, until I got a successful email from Qantas, and then they would invite you to we had to do all the security clearance, the referencing checks, and all these things that are pretty usual nowadays in all airlines worldwide. And then we had to go through a medical examination, and also we had to swim unaided and tread the water for 3 minutes. That you could do it in a swimming pool nearby to where you live, and then it would have to be signed by a lifeguard or an approved lifeguard. Right. So, which planes were we trained on to fly on back in my times with Qantas? So mainly we were trained on the Airbus A380, although back in 2013 we were also trained on the Jumbo Jet, or the Queen of the Skies, the Boeing 747. However, I never flew on it as cabin crew. I've flown on it as a passenger many times, but not as a cabin crew member. I haven't worked on it, although I was trained for the first year of my career with Qantas. Right. It was a great training. In fact, out of all the airlines that I have worked for, Qantas had probably the most extensive, and it was quite intense, but it was very complete, and it was an initial training of 6 weeks, 4 of which were at Heathrow at the British Airways Training Academy, and then the other 2 weeks, the remaining 2 weeks, you would go into the Qantas offices and you would be trained on customer service. Right, during the 4 weeks of training at Heathrow, so with the British Airways, but with Qantas instructors, we were trained on everything safety related, normal, standard operating procedures, human factors, fire, survival, ditching, etc. And then the 2 weeks at the Qantas offices in West London, we were trained on customer service. That was a great training. They had different mock-ups, rehearsing or simulating real cabins on board the Airbus A380, so the economy cabins, premium economy cabins, first class suites and business class suites as well. Right, so we were trained in a variety of things, service related, how to deal with customers. I remember they also brought an international company to train us on a specific customer service, how to excel on customer service and how to deal with complaints and stuff like that, things that are pretty common in aviation nowadays, right? With the amount of people that fly nowadays as well. Excellent. So that was the 6 weeks of training. After we did that and successfully completing this training, we would start then flying on the Airbus A380, mainly on the London Heathrow Dubai route. So mainly we would fly to Dubai, lay over for 24 hours and fly back to the UK, to London Heathrow. Every now and then we would also be flying to Australia, so Sydney and Melbourne, and that would take you, it would be done in a 9 days rotation. So you would start your flying duty or your flying line out of London Heathrow, you would then fly into Dubai, lay over for around 24 hours, carry on to Australia, spend there 48, 56 hours, something like that, and then fly back to Dubai, 24 hours, and fly back to London Heathrow. Right. When we were signed off as cabin crew or as international cabin crew for Qantas Airways UK Ltd, you would only be allowed to work in the economy and premium economy cabins. So if you wanted to become part of the wonderful team working in the business class and first class cabins, you had to go through an internal recruitment process, and upon successfully passing the process, you would then be invited to attend an additional 2 weeks training again into the Qantas offices in West London, where you would be trained again on customer service, but specifically to deal with business and first class passengers. You would also be trained on how to make beds, how to set up the business suites, the first class suites for customers to sleep. You would be trained in a variety of wines, how to pair wines with the food that we used to serve on board, and all the standard operating procedures. So how would we welcome, those customers? What welcome drinks we would offer to them? Which snacks would we offer to them? What was the service like in business and first class, etc. I can tell you this pretty much like restaurant style, right? Everything was run by hand. We would rarely use trolleys other than for a few things in those cabins. Right, that was my last year with Qantas. So out of the 3 years that I worked for Qantas UK, my last year was as a first and business class flight attendant. The benefits were great. We had a private medical insurance, as far as I remember, with Bupa. And then we also had zonal employee discount agreements with other international airlines. We would have discounts in hotels and hiring cars, etc. After my wonderful 3 years with Qantas UK Ltd, I moved back to Barcelona and joined the Norwegian family, the long-haul family here in Barcelona. That was a new setup, and I decided to return after 9 years, after a lovely 9-year experience in London. Therefore, my advice, Qantas is a great company to work for, especially if you live in the United Kingdom. And so if you do have a chance in the future to apply for them, by all means, go for it. I am truly sure you will have a great experience. Thank you for watching my channel. As always, do not forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And I will see you very soon.